Good morning, good afternoon, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're watching us from. I'm Jen Wilner with Business Connects, and today with series 5 in our series of Meet the Members. Today I have the pleasure of introducing you to my friend and colleague and Business Connects member, Parag Nevatia. Parag's business is Easy Funding Solutions, where they help you make your business bankable. And if you're watching us right now through Facebook, can you just give us a like or a thumbs up or a comment, maybe a hashtag live, so that we can see, we can see that this is all connected. It's Friday, May 1st. Happy May. This is wonderful. How you doing, Parag?
I'm great. Thank you, Jen. How are you?
Fantastic. Fantastic. So Parag and I just about less than an hour ago got off our Business Connects Friday morning meetup online and did a quick change of hats and probably fed the family and did all that kind of stuff that we had to do in a New York minute. And now we're here. So we're going to try to make this as fun and educational for you as possible, because I know, your time's valuable, and Parag has a lot of phone calls to return today. I know that. So without further ado, I'm just looking at Facebook to see how we're doing. Okay. So quick, who are we? So Business Connects at businessconnectsnj.com. We are a business relationship. Here's the screen. Sorry. We are a business relationship building group. We have 3 chapters. We typically meet in person, but for the past, I think, 50 days, we have been virtual using Zoom software to keep all our members connected. And on our site, you will see we have a directory of all our members. And so as a member, you have the option to have your membership, your profile in our directory, as well as having a blog. So our members get a lot of social media exposure for their business. So let's just kind of jump right into it. And I'm going to show you Parag's information. And so as you can see, Parag has his profile, some information about his company with the link back to his website. And that's easyfundingsolutions.com. And let's just jump into it. All right, Parag?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So Parag, tell us a little bit, give us a little background to you, and then we'll jump into the company stuff. But tell us about Parag. Introduce us.
So thank you. Jen. First of all, thank you so much for the opportunity for having me on this your series of interviews, and it's amazing for all of us small businesses. Really, it's a platform for us to get out there and share our knowledge and see how we can help the business community out there. So thank you so much for having me on it. Who is Parag? So I migrated from India in 1993. Got into banking. It was a fluke. And where I was working, the accountant basically said, you should be across the street in a bank because you have so much knowledge, blah, 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 finance background, etc. So walked me into a bank. The manager said, Parag, I'd love to, you come from, you're highly recommended by so-and-so. Why don't you come in and take a look at banking? That was 1994. Got into retail for the first 6 years, 5 years, and then kind of slowly moved into business banking in late 90s. So evolved through, finance, because I had a finance background. My dad was in business, was in about 6 businesses over his professional career. So I had the pleasure of learning business while I was a teen, working in my dad's office or his showroom. So, and in my later teen life, I was working in a garment manufacturing factory. So I learned how to work on a production line and how you make garments, and it goes through stages to get to the end stage where the garments are put into a box and shipped out. So I used all of that experience as I was growing up and learning about business, different businesses, to implement that in the financing world. That's who I am today. I have learned the banking. I've been on the banking side, the banker side for 20 years. Now I want to implement the stage-wise methodology to make people bankable. And when you make people bankable, there's no reason why a bank would not approve loans. But the problem is we all are so caught up in running around and running a business and doing things that we don't have the time to stop and think about that. That's basically what I figured, what I was hoping to bring out from Easy Funding Solutions, is help those people to stop time, give that to us. Let's kind of get all the information out from you, put it in a structure where the banks get it, and then help you be successful at the end of the day.
Okay. I love the background story. I've known you for, wow, maybe almost 10 years.
10 years.
And I never knew the part about the garment industry. So that's interesting. Thank you for sharing that with us. If you're just joining us now, we have Parag Nevatia, you see on your screen. I'm Jen Wilner from Business Connects, and we have Parag Nevatia of Easy Funding Solutions. And the background, I'm also, if you're seeing me on Facebook, us on Facebook or YouTube, that yes, Jen Wilner is also Secretary Central. So I'm wearing my other hat right now. And Parag and I met about 10 years ago through another networking group called Power Match. Hat tip to our friend Sarah Rosenberg in the suburbs of Philly. We were trying to help her bring Power Match up to Metuchen. And that was a lunchtime networking, but in small groups and stuff. And it was great. So I'm very glad for Sarah for asking me to do that. And what do you know? Maybe we may never have met if it wasn't for Power Match.
True. It was a great time. I learned a lot during that time.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so now we know a little bit about you personally. How about what prompted you to start Easy Funding? I know that you mentioned before that the gentleman said, you should go work in a bank. But what prompted you to start your business? Because it's unlike any other funding or business, bankers. You're not a banker. And I think there's a misconception out there. So tell us about that.
So my biggest thing that I noticed after being in 7 different banks is why does it take so much time in the banking world to really work on files? And the problem is it's just natural. Every business entrepreneur has their own story, like I do, right? Like you do. All of us have our own story to tell. But we don't have the ability to tell the story because most of the time we are caught up in running a business. And then we have a CPA who's doing our financials. But nobody's talking about the story. Nobody's talking about what you have here and kind of put that on paper and monetize it and make it work. So the thought was to create a support system for the entrepreneurs to express themselves and let us do that, polish up, and yet make that project more than just a package.
Hmm.
Everybody is used to a package. But when you put in compliance, vision, history, experiences, pros and cons, all those together, the package becomes a project. And when you present that project to a bank, when we present a project to a bank, it's pretty much got the approval written on the wall. So going back to your question, that prompted me to walk out of that side of the desk, if you will, the table, if you will, wearing a banker's hat for 20 years, to put that down and become a consultant, but yet be an advisor to the client and also build a support system for the bank side, because the problem still lies on the bank side to speed up the processes. And the problems for most banks, community banks, is they got one or two underwriters. If they're lucky, they have two. If they, depending on the size, the volume, it's always proportionate to that. So when there's one underwriter working on 15 files, that's the problem. That's where the bottleneck occurs. And therefore, the easy funding was made to support the traffic, but bring quality and have a vision, clear vision in the production line to make sure that everybody does what they're supposed to do stage-wise, to make sure that approval is written on the wall and closing is written on the wall as well.
Good to know. Good to know. So, Parag, how would you say this new normal that we're going through, how would you say this new normal, the new economy, is affecting your business, and what are you doing? Maybe is there anything different that you're doing now in your business than you may have been doing in, I forget where we are, we're in May. So let's say February. So what are you doing now versus then?
So great question, Jen. I absolutely, like a lot of other businesses out there, how has the current situation affected all of us? I don't want to make it sound like I'm advising, but the fact is, when consumers are afraid of what's going on, they're not going out of their houses. When they're not going out of the houses, money is not spent. If money is not spent in the system, the businesses out there are there's gonna be an impact on their revenue line. So it's a trickling effect down the money chain, if you will, the food chain, if you will, where if I don't spend money, if you don't spend money, the businesses out there, their revenue gets hurt. They don't make revenue. They don't make money. If they don't make money, they can't retain people. And if they have a business in place that has expenses lined up every month, they're not able to meet their expenses because the revenue has taken a hit. Right. So that's what's happened in our world right now. How has that affected easy funding solutions? We have been I've had a couple of services in the back of my mind for the last couple of years. From an advisory standpoint, from a consulting standpoint, I was more focusing on the finance element, but now is the time when finance has been kind of put to rest for a little bit because of the SBA loans that are happening right now, the PPPs and the idle loans. New financing has stopped for a little bit. Therefore, it's prompted us to kind of scratch our heads and pull out those other additional services, which is how do you deal with sustaining your financials? If the fact that you're looking for loans today is because you've taken a beating on reserves, maybe there was no conversation had prior to this period where if you had reserves, then maybe you could kind of weather the storm for the next 1 or 2 months. So we've had those interesting conversations with some clients over the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and that's given the ability to kind of pull those services out of our a back seat and bring them out. So easy funding is at this point where we're trying to like bring out 3 new services which are business sustainability, debt discovery analysis, where it's a health checkup. You go to a general practitioner every year as an annual checkup. This is what it is. The discovery analysis is just like another health checkup of the business to see where you are, can you sustain, where were you, are you walking in the right direction towards your goals or not? So we've done a lot of that in the last month and a half, if you will, Jennifer, because you got to constantly come out and evolve.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And so many people need your services and your expertise. In addition to Easy Funding Solutions, are you open to, would you like to tell everybody else, there's a couple other things that you do in how you educate the public? Well,
yes. So another hat that after being in banking for 20 years, another couple of hats that I really want to explore actually was being able to go out and advise the business community, because awareness is one big thing. I mean, like I said, if everybody's kind of caught up in their own businesses and leave financials for the end of the year, they don't get the knowledge and the hand-holding during the year to really structure their business, to kind of do things in a structural way, if you will, in terms of finances. So I've been very fortunate to have been a part of a couple of organizations like the SPDC, the SCORE, the Monmouth and Ocean Development Council, MODC, and I've done just about webinars in this time frame, webinars and seminars for many different groups. Last week I had a group of CPAs that I'd done a webinar for as well. So again, it's all about spreading the knowledge, the awareness. The SBA has always been I say this, that I write articles as well and publish articles as well. There was an article that just came out on US 1 Princeton 2 days ago, Princeton Online 2 days ago as well. The idea is to educate as many people as you can when you have the moment, you have that 1 hour. And hopefully, the hope is for the group to kind of get to learn more about SBA, because although SBA seems to be a little challenging, it is the result, or it is a positive solution, not result, but a solution for when you don't have collateral, when you have a dent in credit, when you have a dent in cash flow, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, and it's surprising to me how many entrepreneurs are not familiar with the services that are at their disposal with SBDC, and they can call you. Would you say the phone number? We have your phone number from your website on the ticker at the bottom of the screen. That 732-372-7742.
Oh no, that's incorrect.
Oh no.
Yes.
What's the right one, Parag?
The right number is 732.
Okay.
384-3366.
Okay, so we'll get that.
That's our old number in Metuchen.
Okay, so see the transparency of it happens to all of us. Okay, there we go. We fixed that.
There we go. Beautiful. And absolutely, you could reach out to me, and I'll be able to guide anybody, give any kind of advice, and then go from there, depending on the situation.
Right. Okay. Okay, kind of off topic a little bit. Your thoughts on keeping up with your daily routine in this new normal that we have, and anything that you would share with our watchers about how to keep up with the routine and how that's helping your business.
So I got to think a second for that, because it's very interesting as well. It's very interesting. with the obvious changes that we all have to deal with, which is a change in our lifestyle, there's a kind of a certain this period where everybody's scratching their heads and saying, now what? What are we doing? How do we do what? Because we're not going out anymore. You can't balance your life between being in a car, going to a restaurant, being in your office, saying hi to people in your office environment, and then coming back home. There's a balance to life, right? Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden you're kind of sitting in your house, you're dealing with your family 24/7. So how do you deal with something like this? You have to keep it positive first.
Mm-hmm.
Have to keep it positive. This is actually not a bad thing, because for those who didn't have the time to spend with your family, God has given you a way to like spend that time with your family, the quality time with your family. It's a good thing. It also is an opportunity to kind of slow things down and figure out new things as life evolves, as we evolve, as our thought process evolves. Everybody's been using Zoom, right? And it's become like the craziest thing ever.
Yeah.
Now, had anybody thought of having meetings, diligently every day on different platforms like this? No. So you got to think about different aspects, different ways of doing things, and bringing it all together back to you.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly. Yeah. We literally, we didn't slowly step on the brake. We slammed that brake. And in our area in New Jersey, we say in a New York minute here in Jersey, we're so used to going 90 miles an hour through our day that it wasn't like anybody said, okay, things are going to slow down a little bit. No, we literally went from you and I, all these going out to meetings and networking to being on Zoom where, and there are other virtual ways to do screen sharing and have meetings, and people are just now learning about, there's all this other software that they can use. And even Facebook just started their Facebook meeting. I mean, like,
it's amazing to learn that there was so much technology out there. Just for myself, again, off topic, but I told you the other day that we just transitioned from Exchange Server to 365, Microsoft 365. If it wasn't for being here stuck for a month and month to 5 weeks or whatever, I would have never learned technology. There's so much more to offer.
Right.
So there's a positive side to it. Learn as much as you can, because believe me, once we go back out, we'll be so much more enriched with knowledge and newness that life will become easier to a big extent as well, and help you kind of move forward in your business.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Thank you for that, Parag. So final question. Would you care to touch on how your involvement with Business Connects has been and how it's impacted your business, and any takeaways that you would share with anybody who's not familiar with the group?
Listen, I'll send you the invoice later. No, kidding. No, seriously. Because you mentioned that we were part of the what was the
Power Match.
Power Match. Thank you. Sorry.
Power Match project. Now it's been changed to Power Match.
Correct. Power Match. So you have to understand, and I keep saying this, I've been saying this for a year and a half in our Business Connect, every week as well, that the essence of learning about your business partners is to really develop a trust, a comfort, to be able to do business with each other. Like I always said, meeting is great, but being positive about your business and your service that you bring to people. Obviously you want to monetize what you're trying to accomplish as well. When you get your feet off the bed in the morning, you want to think about that. But this being part of Business Connects, and I'm just not saying this, there are 45 other members in the group, and it's growing every week. Every chapter gets 1 or 2 people every week. So I think you're probably seeing at least two or three people added on every week, kind of a thing. It's been amazing. I mean, just, your expertise, Jill's expertise, to be able to help all of us kind of get out. I love the way Jill says she's the conscience for everybody, right? Absolutely. It's amazing to open up your head and think more than what you're stuck in, which is what Business Connects has helped me personally. With technology, you're like a guru in technology and ideas and that, and Jill's got the strategies and going out and bringing in business. So with the two of you, it's been amazing to network, meet, build relationships with people on a weekly basis in all the chapters, but also learn simultaneously from Business Connects that you guys bring to the table. So I last week, I think, I brought in somebody else as well, because I just thought this was the right thing for that person. This was the right thing for that person, because you just don't know till you take the plunge. Sometimes people get to the edge of the cliff and just procrastinate. Sometimes you just need to take the plunge, because if it's right, this is what you get into. So Business Connects has been awesome. I don't know if I answered the question.
Thank you. No, you definitely did. You definitely did. Did you have anything that you wanted to add before we wrap up?
No, listen, guys. Hopefully, we're looking at some states opening up. One thing is, being shut down and being afraid, and the other thing is to let go a little bit and get your feet out step by step, day by day. Yes, we got to be cognizant of what we're touching, and the person in front of us. But I think we'll all this will be behind us. We'll get past this. We've gone through a lot in the past, as a group, as collectively as well. So I think it's time, and I'm hoping that, we'll be out pretty soon. We just have to be very mindful of our habits.
Absolutely.
Just stay positive and
be careful.
Be careful. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you for Parag for that. So in summary, you are all now seeing Parag's website. It's easyfundingsolutions.com. And they simplify business financing. They help you make your business bankable. And if you'd like any information, or if you'd like to contact Parag, his phone number is scrolling across the bottom of the screen at 732-384-3366. And the website is easyfundingsolutions.com. And this week's episode of Meet the Members of Business Connects is coming to a close. Next week, we have another member at 11 a.m. And I believe that will be Lori Smith with New York Life. Thank you, Parag. We appreciate you taking the time to join us.
Great. Jen, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity again. Have a good weekend, guys, and stay safe.
Yes. All right. Take care, Parag. Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Have a nice weekend.
See you next Friday at 11 a.m.